Hi guys, it's Andy from Man City Fan TV. Well, this is the player rating video for last night's game against Leicester in the Carabao Cup. So, as we know, City went through on penalties. Yeah, it was a strange night, but it was a good night to see some young players getting a chance. And if we go through the actual sort of team. We'll assign the player ratings at the end. Muric did absolutely nothing wrong all game, comfortable on the floor, playing the ball out in sort of Edison style. And yeah, he's going to be definitely a worthwhile number 2 in my opinion, which means that Bravo possibly will go in the summer. I don't see any reason why we should be looking at replacing Muric. The problem being is he going to be happy or satisfied with being a number 2 and getting the odd appearances? That's the only sort of downside with him being a young keeper. So we'll see, especially when we've just signed the American kid as well, and he's gone out on loan. So, but anyway, last night I thought Muric was superb overall, and especially in the sort of penalty shootout. Moving into sort of the back four, we had Kyle Walker, who, you know, let's face it, I didn't think he was brilliant, but I didn't think he did anything majorly wrong at the end of the day. But he's another player that looks, he needs a rest. And the good news today is that Danilo looks like he's back in training. So fingers crossed for Palace at the weekend. Kyle Walker can get a rest and Danilo can come back in. And just let sort of Walker put his feet up for a week or so. Centre-back pairing, Otamendi, and I'm really surprised, I mean, out of the blue, Eric Garcia, young 17-year-old kid, sort of partnering Otamendi, which didn't bring a lot of hype, but I thought Otamendi was back to his usual sort of diving in best, if I'm being honest. But he's, you know, can't complain too much. He was a Premier League Team of the Year last year, so he's just possibly not up at the level where Stones and Laporte have been, but he had a solid game, nothing majorly wrong with Otamendi. Eric Garcia, wow, if you'd never seen him before and somebody said this is a 17-year-old kid making sort of like his proper sort of debut in a competition, so comfortable, so composed, so confident on the ball. I mean, he's not the biggest, but he's not afraid to have a dig and a shout out of his senior players. I mean, at one point he turned around and gave Otamendi a right mouthful. Very, very positionally aware, anticipates things exceptionally well. So I thought he had a wonderful game for a young kid, and it only bodes well for the future. Moving over to the left-back position, Zinchenko, I've said it before, I mean, I feel sorry for him and for Delph because they're not naturally left-backs and they've been converted by Pep to play that position. But he's just, I mean, Delph at least is more defensive-minded. You know, I know he's made a couple of mistakes, which, you know, any full-back can make or centre-back can make, but Zinchenko is so positionally, unaware of his surroundings in a defensive role. I mean, he's made so many mistakes in that position that have led to goals. And again, last night, a 40, 50, 60-yard ball, all the time in the world to watch it, decide what to do, goes over his head. And then they break away and obviously they score a goal. And yeah, not great. And I do feel sorry for him. I just can't see how he's going to fit into the team in the midfield berth. So I think Pep's trying to give him as many opportunities as possible. Maybe resting Delph because Mendy's out injured. So I do feel a little bit sorry for him. But, you know, at the end of the day, we can only critique it on his performance. And I thought he had a poor game. Into centre midfield, well, Fernandinho finally got a rest. And we had John Stones, which again was bit of a surprise. He's played there a couple of times. Can't say he looks like anywhere near what Fernandinho brings to the team, but he looked comfortable. You know, he moved the ball around, but for me, he's not a central defensive midfielder, not right now. He's better as a centre back, but he coped perfectly well against a Leicester team that were harrying and hassling him, but he kept the ball well, rotated it well, was clean in his passes, defensively was sound in that position, but yeah, it still didn't look right. But at least it gives us another option if we are really struggling in that position, and it looks like we're not potentially going to sign anyone until the summer. So nothing wrong with that. Looking through, we had Kevin De Bruyne and Phil Foden playing ahead of John Stones. De Bruyne, he brings just immense class. There's no doubt in it. But he looked rusty last night in comparison to where we normally see him, at what type of level we see him play at. But I mean, the way he took his goal was just exceptional. As soon as he hit it, I just thought it's in immediately, because he hit it from the opposite side. I mean, you'd think he was going to curl one into the far corner, but he just deceived the keeper and hit it with such pace and little back lift. He's a wonderful player, world class, absolutely world class. Moving on to Phil Foden. I thought he had a really good game. He doesn't look out of place whatsoever. He basically, for his age, he's 18 years of age. He'll be 19 in May, another 5 months away. But he holds his own against big proper men. Technically very gifted. Fights for the ball. Gives the ball away on occasions, and that's perfectly fine. But chases back, and he's got that pep sort of attitude. If you give it away, you do everything you possibly can to get it back, and I thought he did that last night. I thought he was wonderful. And then we had Brahim Diaz. Brahim Diaz was given the chance, gave Sane a rest, and I thought he was exciting. Didn't do anything tremendous, but he wanted to commit players all the time. He got the ball, he was happy to drive in and take them on and commit them, and I'd love to see him stay. I really would. Whether he will or he won't, like I said in the previous videos, Pep's gone back, and the board have gone back with Cheeky and said, look, here's a final offer, we want you to stay. Whether he will or he won't, we'll have to wait and see in January. But I mean, for an 18-year-old kid, so exciting. I'd be gutted if he leaves. So we only have to look at Jadon Sancho, what he's doing at Dortmund now. If we let another kid like this go, where's this kid going to be in 3-4 years' time? He's got so much potential, and I thought he did really well last night. Sergio, yeah, I mean, he looks like a player who's not played for weeks and weeks and weeks, which he hasn't. Looked very rusty. But strikers in particular go on sort of these runs, but strikers also need to get fit, match fit, and I think it's only a matter of time before Sergio sort of hits that, almost 90% mark, where we'll see him sort of thundering goals from all angles, and that won't take long. He just needs to get up to peak fitness, or some kind of proper fitness, where he'd be able to do that. And then we had Riyad Mahrez on the right hand side, which, again, very disappointed, really disappointed. Back at Leicester, had a point to prove, go and show the fans why we paid 60 million for him, and just this is like the third or fourth game on the row now where just nothing, absolutely, very little. He had 2 or 3 opportunities that he should have at least scored or made the keeper make a save, and wayward, off target, slow, sloppy. I'm just not getting it at the moment. I understand that he needs to integrate, but he's been given a run by Pep, and you'd expect at least more improvement game on game. We're not seeing it. In fact, it's going backwards. So yeah, I was really disappointed in Riyad Mahrez last night. Sterling came on, didn't do anything, did nothing really, if I'm honest. And then we went through to the penalty shootout, which was just embarrassing. I mean, some of the penalties were, oh my god, they were laughable. But well done to Muric, got a few of them right. Took saves. Raheem Sterling said last night after the match, "What were you thinking, kid?" But it goes to show his confidence if he's going to try and do a Panenka in that game at that moment in time. So I'm not going to give him too much of a hard time. If he scored it, everyone would be going mental about it. The reaction from their keeper, though, it's fine. You've just had, a penalty miss. You get all hyped up and he gives the face to Sterling. Whether it was a bit over the top or not, it's up for debate. But we got through in the end. Zinchenko scored his penalty. They had a couple of really very poor penalties. So on to player ratings then. So Muric for me gets a 9, only because I thought he was exceptional making those saves. Walker gets a 6. Otamendi gets a 6. Eric Garcia gets a 7.5. Thought he was very, very good. Zinchenko gets a 6. John Stones, I'll give him a 6.5. Didn't do anything in particular. Kevin De Bruyne, give him a 6.5. Again, no, I'll give him a 7 because of his goal, but didn't do much else. Phil Foden, I'll give a 7. I thought he worked really hard. Brahim Diaz, he'll get a 6.5. Aguero gets a 6, and Mahrez gets a 6 as well. Nothing really offered, nothing either of them all game. So overall, we're through to the next round, and if we believe Craig Bellamy last night, we've got Burn by all accounts. So we'll see what happens in the other 2 games that are playing tonight. But this is Andy from Man City Fan TV. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Give us your ratings below, and we'll see you soon.